Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, Two Blokes Chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
Well, speaking of people who've had a birthday during the week, I believe the man we're about to speak to had a significant birthday during the week. Happy birthday to you. But, Rob, you could do the intros.
Yes, indeed. He's finally made the 80 mark. Neville Whitley, good morning to you and congratulations on the milestone.
Oh, thanks, Rob. I don't know if it's a milestone, but I suppose getting to 80...
it's better than not getting to 80.
Pretty quick.
Well, let's be serious about it. The fact that you're still at the helm of an organisation like the GDFL at your age shows a great deal of passion and commitment. Is it about year 35 or 6 or something?
I came... sorry about that. I came on as a vice president in 1983, and I've been president since 1985.
That's a very good long stint, and you've seen some ups and downs, some trials and tribulations, some improvements, some setbacks, but I reckon the last couple of years we're starting to see a really, really good country footy comp. So this coronavirus mishap has probably come at really the wrong time, and certainly local clubs haven't been prepared for it. But at the coalface, for as long as you have been dealing with the club's issues, what's the general feeling? Is it major disappointment? Is it philosophical? How are the clubs looking?
Oh, look, our clubs are very disappointed that we're not having a year of football, and I think that would go for GFL and Ballarat as well, and Colac District for that matter. But we have to take the health situation into our thoughts, and I think it's probably easier to get the players onto the training track and into match day, but it's all the other things and protocols and risks that were with coronavirus, and we just felt that our volunteers were going to be affected and put into a dangerous position. So we felt we probably have done the wise thing and called this year off and look forward to a bumper year next year.
And of course, the other consideration is that it is called community football for a reason. It brings communities together, and if that's not possible, I suppose the football itself becomes secondary, and it puts a lot of pressure on volunteers, or even more pressure now, because the costs of running a club don't change, and the ability to gather those funds just totally disappears. So it's an impossible task, and I guess a result, a decision that you just had to come to.
Well, apart from the financial side of it, because our clubs are fortunate that we've got our own bingo centre and we own Buckley's Entertainment Centre. That brings us in some revenue, but both places have been closed, so our income for our clubs has dried up as well. So our clubs, as I said, are very fortunate that the league picks up a lot of the expenses. So the clubs themselves don't have to have a lot except for gas, electricity and probably player payments. The league pays for all the rest. So our clubs are fortunate in that way.
So, Neville, it's Neil Butler here, and congratulations on your birthday. It's very exciting news.
Neil.
My dad got to 90 last week, so you've got a little bit of catching up to do. But how much of the decision was based on the fact also that one of the great things about GDFL footy, and the others as well, obviously, is the community feel to it, and the fact that a number of the grounds are open. It would be almost impossible to not get crowds there, wouldn't it? I mean, they would dribble through the bits where there are no gates.
Yeah, well, a lot of our clubs, our country clubs have got fences, but around the city area, it's open territory sort of thing, and it would be very difficult to maintain crowd control as far as numbers coming and going. So all our clubs, we had a meeting with our presidents a couple of weeks ago, and it was 9-3 that we don't go ahead with the year. We just held off for a fortnight, courtesy to AFL Barwon, before we released our numbers and called the year off. So we wanted to do it as a region. If they were going to go ahead, well, we would have still called the year off because that's what our numbers.
Neville, quite often in situations like that, there's a reassessment of things, and one of the big controversies over recent times has been player payments, salary caps, etc. Do you think this period of time might be a chance to just review some of that and maybe drag it back, because that clearly is the biggest difficulty for clubs is raising these funds, which seems to be just increasing yearly, the player payment factor.
Yeah, well, with the salary cap imposed by AFL Vic, that sort of keeps a fair lid on it. But you're exactly right that I think from AFL down, they're looking at cutting costs, and to run an AFL club, it's exorbitant. But our clubs are no different, except they're on a smaller scale. But I think it will be looked at. Our salary cap is $90,000 at the moment. Now, to raise that sort of money, you've got to sell a lot of sausage rolls and pies and beer just for player payments. But some of our clubs don't go anywhere near that, and they're still fairly successful. So I think there's pros and cons on both sides of it. Some want to go out and spend a lot of money and have little success. Others spend less and have success. So you can do both. But I really believe that there will be a cutback in player payments going forward.
Because I think the other thing too, Neville, is I have a son-in-law who plays in one of the leagues in regional Victoria away from Geelong. He's in the other side of the state, and they've only got 6 teams in the comp. I'm wondering whether some of these things are actually going to be the end of some leagues and potentially, sadly, the end of some clubs, because it's just too hard to restart. I mean, we're obviously GDFL very fortunate to have the structure that you guys have got. Are you getting a sense of that from anywhere else around Victoria, or are you only really focusing on what's going on locally?
No, I've been involved in a lot of discussions around the state. When you get deeper into Victoria, there's a concern of player numbers being available, and that's what more the demise than the financial side of it. It's just that there's a lack of participation.
Yep.
In some towns, when you get to like up the western border now, I think they've only got 6 clubs where they used to have 12. Now, some of those clubs have moved to other leagues, but there's been a certain drop-off of clubs in areas, and Gippsland has one league, but that was also caused by the change in AFL Vic's direction. They put another league in down there, and they took 5 out of one league and 5 out of another league, and left Alberton League with, I don't know whether that's the league you're talking about, the Alberton League left with six clubs. So
it's exactly the league I'm talking about. And the interesting thing is that you've got places like Stony Creek and Tura and Tarwin. I don't know whether you've ever been to those 3 towns, but if you got all 3 towns together and got everybody who lives there, you'd probably be all get them on a minibus. I mean, they're bringing people in from other places to play because otherwise the clubs go under, and of course the Alberton League goes under with it.
Yeah, that's right. And they're very concerned about their survival. There's talks of a revamp in that area, but then clubs don't want to go back to the Alberton League because they're geographically placed closer to the league that they're in at the moment.
Yeah.
So the Alberton League has got a bit of a problem getting clubs to come back and play in their league, and they've been going for over 100 years. You know, it's a shame that we lose that history.
Yeah.
Neville, the focus obviously has been on senior football in the decision making, but it also needed to take into consideration the netball, which requires less facilities and could possibly still be played, and also junior football, which is another thing. What's happening in that space that people might be interested in?
Well, junior football is they're back at training, and they'll be able to do contact training soon. I'm not sure the exact date. There's so many dates going around, and but netball, our senior netball has been ceased as well because the clubs felt that if it was part of the club, then the whole club would not participate. So our senior netball are actually talking as we speak about a modified type season. There's one that AFL Barwon are putting together. Our girls and our clubs, if they have a modified competition, they can start in, say, late August and still go into October. So there's no real hassle there. But the football ovals when you get to cricket creates a problem.
Yeah,
but,
that's right.
You're right. Netball doesn't need the same area to participate, but our clubs are looking at as a modified type competition just to give the girls a run and keep them together.
So as far as junior netball goes, that's a sort of a watch this space as well. That could develop around any senior competition.
We'd like to see junior netball still participate in a competition type operation as far as our league is concerned, and junior football, that's run by AFL Barwon anyway, and but the clubs, I'm sure that the clubs will still participate in a competition type operation in junior football.
So for GDFL fans, we will still be promoting the competition every Saturday morning here. Noel Fanning's put together some wonderful videos from games of the past, and we'll be focusing on one of them each week. We'll be starting on a little trip you made down to Simpson a few years ago, Neville, to play an interleague game against the Heytesbury comp, and a little story involving Larry Donoghue, who will be our guest next week to explain all that. So that will be a feature from now on of a Saturday morning, a little GDFL blast from the past.
Yeah, and your listeners, as you said, that Noel's downloaded about 150 odd videos of past games. I was watching one last night in 1992, and it's quite good to watch the football and see some of the names that were running around playing then. Now some of their sons are.
Yeah, so you get on the GDFNL Netball website, go to the video prompts, and you can pick a game from the past that you may have been even involved in, or family member or something that's available on the website. So get on that, and we'll be focusing on a game a week from now on. Neville, thank you for your time. We'll be in touch if things develop around footy in Geelong, but it's good to have you aboard.
Thanks very much, Rob. Thanks, Neil.
Good on you, mate.